against Alkmaar. It is now do or die in our season. Massive game for Ange Postecoglou, massive game for Tottenham Hotspur as a club, and a massive game for us fans as well. I want to see all the fans going there in full voice, backing the team, and coming back with no voice really, because I think this is the kind of game it is, isn't it? It's literally do or die in our season, and I can't stress the importance of what this means on the outlook of our season. Even though it was a shit first leg, even though it's been a disastrous season, there is still something that can be salvaged, whether you believe it can happen or not. That's not the point here. The point here is that you get into the next round and you live to fight another day.
Yeah, and I think it's so important we do that. I think if we were to go out tomorrow, especially if it would, turn out to be a really embarrassing performance and all that kind of stuff, I think Ange's job at that point, especially for large swaths of the fan base, becomes completely untenable. Whether the club can resist that kind of pressure to let him go, even potentially immediately, or especially at the end of the season, if tomorrow goes against him, it might be too much for the club to bear, in my opinion, especially if it's really another embarrassing performance like the first leg. So tomorrow couldn't be more crucial. But more importantly, the Europa League is still there. There's still an opportunity there. If we can get this team playing like we know they can play, like we have at times played under this manager, there is an opportunity for us to go far in this tournament and really give it a good crack. The players need that confidence boost. They need something to go their way, and they need to start believing again. I think clearly this team is lacking a lot of confidence, and especially the way we play, it's so important to physically dominate your opponent, to try things, to always go for that extra mile, go for the throat of the opposition. When you see that space, really run into it and attack it rather than be hesitant like I've seen players be before. When you're playing out the back, I see players sometimes scared that they're going to give the ball away, and that leads in an ironic way to them giving the ball away and being hesitant instead of being full confidence. And tomorrow we need to somehow find that level again that we know we can find, and we know that RZ are a good team. They showed in the first leg. They're in good form as well, I think, domestically, and they're playing quite well at the moment. And we saw in Europa League, they obviously did really well against Galatasaray in the last round, and they beat us at home. So no doubt it's going to be a difficult game, but we know we have the quality to win this game. We know we're better than them when we're at our best and on our day, and we just got to find that tomorrow. And it means starting from minute one, going at them and showing that they're in a game from minute one. That's the most important thing.
It's a good point you raise about minute one, right? Because there's too many games in the last month or so where we've been too slow out of the traps. You look at the Ipswich game, you look at the game on the weekend, you look at plenty of games, Man City in the first half. We're conceding way too many easy chances for the opposition to score. Most of the time, the opposition haven't made the most out of these chances that they've created, or we've been the master of our own downfield in a lot of these moments, right? It's so important that we don't give the opposition that hope in the opening 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever it may be. Do not give them these opportunities. Go out there and earn the right to play, and go out there and do the right things and start off banging the game. We can't afford to start the game off like we've been doing over the past month. We just cannot afford it.
Especially if we concede an early goal, that would basically give us a mountain to climb. And all of a sudden the belief will drain out the stadium immediately, and we can't afford for that to happen. And we've started games too sloppily too often, especially in recent weeks. And tomorrow is so crucial that we're on it from the first minute. Everyone's looking sharp, everyone's looking confident, demanding the ball, going forward. We have to realise what an opportunity this is, and whatever's happened this season, there is still opportunity here, and there's still a chance for us to end the season in an amazingly special way. And whatever, again, as much of a disaster as season it's been, it could still be if we win this competition, it would still be our first trophy in 17 years, and it would still be something really, really special for this football club to go all the way in this trophy, whatever happens in the league. So we have to sense that, we have to realise that how important this is, and we have to see the players fighting for that, and that's the most important thing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's a massive, massive occasion. 2 games against Alkmaar that we've played this season, both have been very hard-fought games. Well, I say hard-fought. We didn't fight very hard in the last game, but I'm saying RZ gave us a great game in both of them. The one at home, we won 1-0, penalty. We had, good opportunities in the second half, but we couldn't really score from open play. tough opposition, really tough, young, exuberant. They're going to fight, they're going to press, they're going to hound, they're going to harry. In the second leg, not in the second leg, but in the first leg of the knockouts, we just were so toothless. We could barely create a chance. We could barely put 3 passes together. We're just going to need to get that out of our system, brush ourselves down, and play with authority like we know we can do against this kind of level of opposition.
We're going to have to show that wasn't us last week, and we're going to have to show that was something that doesn't represent who we are and how we can play. And unfortunately, whatever happened last week, whether it be the players just going in it with the wrong mentality, or they're buckling under the pressure, or whatever it is, we know Spurs teams historically away in Europe have always struggled. Even in our greatest Premier League team under Poch, you see what happened when we went away to Ghent. We lost 1-0, and it was a similar display than we saw last week.
Yeah.
So we know that this club has it in us, and we definitely know this team has it in us. But getting them back to the lane, getting them back with our fans in the stadium, we have to show who we are, and we have to show that what we're capable of, and we have to blow. I want to see us blowing them away. I want to see us completely going through the throat. I think it's going to be very difficult, but I need Romero. He's been in big competitions and won them. I want to see him stepping up. It's time for Maddison, Son, those two who have been kind of hot and cold a lot of the season. I need them to show their very best form tomorrow. Solanke coming back from fitness. He's played 90 minutes now. We need to see what he's capable of tomorrow. And I think we can rely on the likes of Jed and not Jed if Jed starts, but like the likes of Bergvall to put in good performances, because we've seen they're playing well, but we need these senior players tomorrow to really step up for the team, and
Absolutely.
They've been there and done that. A lot of these players have been there, especially people like Romero. He has won big trophies. He knows how to do it.
He's probably the only one, actually.
Well, you say Bentancur, but obviously he's not going to be playing tomorrow. We need him to really lead this team tomorrow, and we're going to have all our leadership group tomorrow. All 4 of them probably starting. So I don't want to see any lack of leadership on that pitch.
Yeah, we need to see Sonny as well have a game like he had against Elfsborg, where he's just relentless down that left-hand side, taking on his man, getting the ball into the box, getting in those central areas, getting in those scoring positions. Because when Sonny gets in those positions, he's deadly. And I thought he looked really sharp when he came on in the Bournemouth game for that second half. Obviously, won the penalty really well. He was getting in those positions, having shots off, one just wide of the post. So I think I 100% agree with you. Because you can only go so far with these young players, right? We all know they're going to turn up pretty much every game, but that's not what's going to get you over the line. What's going to get you over the line is these experienced players coming to the fore, and it's been way too often this season where they've let us down. So it's time for them to step up in this game when it really matters. And all the players you mentioned, and I'll add Sonny in there as well, because if these players are on it and if these players have a good game, then I have no doubt that we go and win this game.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, AZ have shown what they're capable of. The Poku, the winger, he's been brilliant.
Big trouble in both legs,
both games, really big trouble. And he's one obviously down the left or the right, whichever side he's going to start in. We're going to have to be wary of him on the counter. Obviously, Troy Parrott's obviously. I thought he had a decent game in the first leg, gave us quite a bit of trouble, whether it be trying to get on the end of things, whether it be pressing us, whether it be winning headers. But he's not going to be up against Archie Gray this time. He's going to be up against Romero and Van der Ven. So I'm hoping to dominate those kind of scenarios. I think a lot of it will come down to as well how I think a lot of it will come down to like the anxiety that a lot of the fans have with Romero and Van der Ven both starting, seeing as they haven't started, as you said, since we said October time when we lost to Palace. And every time we've seen either of them play, one of them usually broken down. So if those two can last 90 minutes, I do think we'll have a good chance of making sure that RZ have very little going the other way and very little chances. I think that's going to be really, really important going into this game. But I think Van der Ven and Romero are going to be crucial. But I think if we can kind of do the right things pressing-wise, be a lot more intense than we've been, do the right things in possession, not giving away stupid passes like we've seen over the last few weeks, I do think that RZ will struggle to cope with us. I really do. But I also feel like I feel in terms of getting our full team back up to speed and back to full fitness, we're still potentially kind of a couple of games away from that, having this team together again, because they're only just getting back together. So I don't know. I'm undecided whether I think we're going to be at our best tomorrow, or it's still going to be a bit of a stodgy performance while the teams are getting back together after so long it was decimated. You're seeing a few green shoots over the last few weeks, but it's still clearly not there yet. We're still not very consistent in terms of our performance. You're seeing some good, but still too much bad. So tomorrow, I still expect there'll be a bit of rustiness, to be honest. But let's hope we can get that out of our system as soon as possible and get back to playing the way we want to.
Score prediction?
I think it's going to be... Something tells me we're going to go to extra time tomorrow.
Yeah, I feel that way as well.
Something tells me it's going to be like 2-1 extra time. I feel like it's going to be 1-0 to them, and then we're going to get 2 goals in the second half, take it extra time, and then it's anyone's guess at that point.
I think we're winning on penalties tomorrow.
Although, I would say if it goes to extra time, that could benefit us because we now have a squad, whereas before we didn't. So I would probably back us if we went to extra time to probably get another goal or 2 in that period. I'm going to go 3-1 after extra time.
3-1. I'm going to go Spurs to win 2-1 and Spurs to go through on the dreaded penalty shootout. And it's going to be a very nervy game. But I think Spurs are just going to kind of like just about get over the line tomorrow night. And it's going to be a nervy night at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. But look, by hook or by crook, we just need to make it into the next round. That's all that matters tomorrow.
Big question, though. If we do go out tomorrow, is that his last day in charge?
I think he'll probably still be in charge of the weekend, and then, you know, it's a long 2.5 weeks till our next game, and I think anything can happen in that time, and I think he probably will lose his job.
I think it all depends on the context of the game. It's really embarrassing. We lose 3-0 or something.
No,
I think he's
doesn't
probably
matter
gone.
the context of the game.
I'm not saying from my point of view. I'm saying how I think it'll play out. I think if it's a really embarrassing performance and like there's nothing you can take away from it, then I do think he'll probably be gone. But I think if we play really well and we somehow get unlucky and not go through, I think the club will probably give him till the end of the season. But
I disagree.
I think the fan base will probably be the pitchforks will be out if we go out tomorrow.
You know, if there's no sort of any way that you can paint this in a positive light if we go out to AZ Alkmaar, even if we have a slightly positive performance or a good performance and still go out, it's embarrassing to go out at this stage of the tournament to a team like AZ Alkmaar. No disrespect, because AZ are a decent side. They're playing well. They've given us 2 hard games. But we should never be going out to a team like AZ Alkmaar in the Europa League. We should be stamping our authority. Our team is probably worth probably 6 times the amount of that their squad is worth. You know what I mean? The revenues that both clubs generate, the quality of player that both clubs have. You know what I mean? It just goes to show, right? We have a player that basically couldn't get in our squad, and he's their star player. That's basically what it is, right? So it's an embarrassment if Spurs were to go out tomorrow.
I don't disagree.
So no matter how we go out, ANGE has got to go if we do go out tomorrow.
I'm just saying I've already said if we go out tomorrow, I'll be ANGE out. I'm telling you, I said that already. But I'm just saying what the club will do, what I think the club will do. I kind of feel like even if we go out tomorrow, there's a good chance he'll probably still be here till the end of the season. All
right. Well, look, that is your match preview for you guys. Sim is in the stadium for you guys tomorrow. I'm going to be on the watch along with Mr. Danny Kiri Aku. So be there.
Fireworks.
Be square. Expect the fireworks tomorrow night. And yeah. So we're both going for Spurs wins. We're both going for Spurs to get over the line tomorrow night. So if you're in that stadium, make sure you sing up for the lads, no matter what you feel about Tottenham Hotspur at this current moment in time, no matter what you feel about Ange Postecoglou, just get your voices heard and scream those boys over that line tomorrow night. Thank you everyone for joining me today and Sim. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.